Picture Book Summit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Picture Book Summit podcast. I am your host, Kelly Panique, and I have the team with me today. Hello, Emma Walton-Hamilton.
Hello, Kelly Panique.
Hello, Julie Headland.
Hello.
And hello, Katie Davis.
Hi, everybody.
Yay! We're really excited to be with you here today because we are going to be talking about books, and you know we love talking about books. So this year at Picture Book Summit, you may have heard for 2026, our speakers are Derrick Barnes, Deborah Underwood, and Brian Lees. And so today starts one of three podcasts where we're really going to focus on their books. If you haven't heard previously, we've done an interview. Emma interviewed Derrick Barnes, Julie interviewed Deborah Underwood, and Katie interviewed Brian Lees, all for the podcast. So if you haven't heard those episodes, after you listen to this one, go and find those and listen to them because they're really fantastic interviews. And we hope it gives you insight into what they'll be talking about at Picture Book Summit. But today is about the books, and specifically Derrick Barnes's books. As you may know, he's a 3-time New York Times best-selling author. He has won awards, including he was a National Book finalist, a Newbery honoree, a 3-time Coretta Scott King honoree, and also the only 2-time Kirkus Prize-winning author. So he has a ton of awards, but he also has the bestseller. So he has the critical success as well as the best-selling success on his books. And a few of his books, in case you don't know, are Crown, an ode to the fresh cut, I Am Every Good Thing, The King of Kindergarten, The Queen of Kindergarten, and recently, earlier this year, 7 Million Steps came out, or maybe that was 2025. You guys can correct me if I was wrong. Another gorgeous, beautiful book. So we're going to dig into things that we see Derrick do that we love, that author through line through his books, and then also talk a little bit about some of these books. So Emma, since you interviewed Derrick, I would love for you to get us started on this conversation.
Sure, I'd be delighted. Well, you know, one of the things that was most moving and inspiring about the interview with him was hearing his story about how before he ever published his first picture book, he very nearly gave up on his dream of writing picture books. And he had been published in other genres and other formats, but was really struggling to find his way with picture books. And Derrick is very clear that he is mission driven in his picture book writing. He wants to uplift children in his books, but also very specifically Black boys. He has 4 sons, and, he is writing for them. He is writing for them to see themselves not just reflected and mirrored in this world, but celebrated. And each one of his books, I think, feels like a celebration. But what's super interesting to me about Derrick is that what he talked about was not having found his voice, not being able to find his voice when he was struggling to get his first picture book, which turned out to be Crown. Can you imagine having that be your debut?
Incredible book.
Won every award known to man.
They were surprised by it, too.
Yes.
Like, nobody had that book on their radar, which made it even better.
But the thing that he did with Crown, and that he continues to do with all his books since, is he leaned into voice. He leaned into his authentic voice or the authentic voice of the story that he's telling, or the character that he's writing about. And, in anticipation of this episode today, I was revisiting some of his books and just marveling at his gift for specificity of voice. I mean, the choices that he makes, and the books are very stylistically different and distinct from one another. Some of them are lyrical, some of them are funny, some of them are in first person, some of them are in second person. He goes all over the map in terms of style. But what he consistently does is he zooms in on a specific detail that just, reveals everything. So, for example, King of Kindergarten, which is a very sweet-hearted but also funny picture book. He in the almost the very beginning of the book, the second page, this little boy gets up, getting ready for his first day of kindergarten. His mom says he's going to be king of kindergarten, and it's all in second person. It's all written in you. And he says, you'll use a golden toothbrush to clean ye royal chiclets.
I love
It
that.
just made me laugh out loud. Like, I would have written, you'll use a golden toothbrush to clean your teeth, but ye royal chiclets was just only Derrick Barnes can nail something that specific and, and have it work that well. And he does it repeatedly throughout all his books. Equally specific, totally different style in I Am Every Good Thing, which is very lyrical. What he manages to achieve with this book is so triumphant. His goal being to celebrate Black boys. He dedicates the book to Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, E.J. Bradford, Jordan Edwards, Michael Brown, Jordan Davis, and Julian Mallory. And what he does with the book is he pays homage to those individuals and several other notable Black achievers in the world. But he does it without naming names, and at the same time managing to make it sound like he's talking about the reader. So every page he's celebrating a different famous person, but at the same time, but he's using I, and at the same time he's making the reader think he's talking about them. It's an impossible feat. I don't know how he achieved it, but it's an astonishing achievement, and
all filled with joy.
And all
Every
full of joy.
book
Full
is
of joy.
filled with
And
joy.
specificity. I mean, the very first page, he starts out, I am every good thing that makes the world go round. Like gravity, or the glow of moonbeams over a field of brand new snow. I am good to the core, like the center of a cinnamon roll. I mean, that specificity, right? Notice how the specific details are doing all the work for him, right? He's making his general point, but then he's backing it up with a specific detail, a specific image that shows rather than tells exactly.
And all the good stuff is in the center of a cinnamon roll.
Yes, exactly. It's all the cinnamon and the sugar, It's an absolutely beautiful book. Towards the end, there's a gorgeous page where he goes from the specific pulls out to the general. And he says, I am a brother, a son, a nephew, a favorite cousin, a grandson. I am a friend. I am real. Now, I would have ended that page on I am a friend. Right? With the list. I would have just finished the list. But what he went to from that list was I am real, which is the point of this whole book. Right? The point of this whole book is that these people are heroes, but they're real. And so are you. And so you could be a hero too. So it's that kind of choice of leaning into voice, leaning into specific detail that just blows my mind every time I read a Derrick Barnes book. I'm just so amazed by his ability to trust his voice.
Yes.
And for the reader to get it.
Yeah.
It's not just him trusting his voice, he's trusting that you are going to get it.
Yeah.
So my favorite spread in Crown, which is really hard to choose because the whole book is incredible. But I'm going to show you the image of this mother kissing the cheek of her son who is playing a trumpet, it looks like. And the way, I know this is the art, but the way that you can see that the boy is smiling while playing is, and then when you look at the text, so he talks about how the great haircut makes you feel. It's the look your English teacher gives you when she hands you your last test with a bright red 97 slapped on it. It's how your mother looks at you before she calls you beautiful. Flowers are beautiful. Sunrises are beautiful. Being viewed in your mother's eyes as someone that matters, now that's beautiful. And you'll take it. And you'll take it. You don't mind at all. That, again, Emma, that sweetness of you don't mind at all, because we all know boys can sometimes get a little like, oh, my mom is. And part of the reason I love this so much is that my son played the euphonium. And, and so this brass instrument thing, but like the smiling behind. Kelly and I were talking earlier about how when your words are so evocative, what they inspire the art to do in a picture book. And I would say pretty much universally, the art in Derrick Barnes' picture books are as elevated as the text. And it has to be because the text is so rich and sumptuous, and you just need to have the same level of depth and richness and lyricism in the art. Both I Am Every Good Thing and Crown are illustrated by Gordon C. James. And one other one that I wanted, because Emma mentioned Black Boy Joy and the dedication of this book. And so I just wanted to show this one image in I Am Every Good Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, that image, for those of you who are listening, it's a young Black boy looking confident with his eyes partially closed. And then there's this halo around him.
It looks like a religious iconography.
Yeah. It does. And I think that's intentional on the part of the artist, because the text here says, every now and then I'm afraid. I am not what they might call me, and I will not answer to any name that is not my own. I am what I say I am. And I think that this image is both reflecting the strength and the confidence, but it's also reflecting the loss and the grief of those boys that he dedicated the book to, and kind of imagining them looking down upon those. It's so powerful. It's amazing how he can contain joy and tragedy in the same space.
Yeah.
Where you almost just go back and forth,
Right.
You have that religious iconography page. This is gorgeous. And then you have this delightful picture of the boy swimming in the ocean and just having the time of his life, and it's the way that he's able to honor like the whole person. We aren't just a monolith, any one of us. He's writing for Black boys, but it's so, I find it to be so, it resonates with me, the words. So I can't even imagine how much more it resonates for Black boys. And it's so gorgeous. And this is written in first person, but I have a hard time thinking of somebody who writes in second person as well as he does. And you talk about really bringing your reader in and making them feel like they're part of your book. And he just has this way of doing that, like I said, like with Crown, like I'm not going to the barber shop, but all of those words he's saying in that book, like about how good you feel and, and all of that, it's so inspiring. And he's so good at it that in his book, I looked it up, 2026, 7 Million Steps came out. And this is a picture book biography. And it is also written in the second person. Like this whole thing is written in second person.
It is a really difficult thing to pull off, writing a picture book biography in second person.
Right.
And this, by the way, is illustrated by Frank Morrison.
And it is about Dick Gregory, who in 1976 ran across the country from LA to New York. And oh my God, this spread, it just can't with that. I mean, look at that.
I remember when that happened. Don't you, Emma?
Yeah.
And Derrick co-wrote this with, I believe it's his son. And it's just so, that face, it's just gorgeous. But again, it's all in second person. And he, like this, for example, there's a vibration that runs the length of your entire body. When your feet hit the ground in rhythm, the pacing, the metered breathing will make you feel like a machine. But you're no machine. You're just somebody who's trying to do the right thing, doing your part from town to town to town. And the whole story is like that. And he talks about how sometimes he's alone and sometimes people are with him and he's seeing different sights, but really he doesn't care about all of the extra things. He just wants people to know that in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, there are people who can't feed themselves, who are wondering where their next meal is coming from. And he did it all for that. And it just keeps going back and back to that theme. I mean, it's a marvel, this book. It's just gorgeous. And again, written in second person, nonfiction biography.
But that's what he does. He navigates this, parallel track.
Yeah.
Somehow. He does this parallel track thing where he's able to be in his own authentic voice, writing voice that is uniquely his, while at the same time, landing somebody else's story or keeping the reader in mind. Or
I love what Betsy Bird said about his work, his language, that they pop off, his words pop off the page like little spitting fireworks. And every time I read him, I think of her writing that, because there isn't a book that isn't like that. I mean, she may have been reviewing one specific book, but all his books, the words spit off the page like fireworks. And I have to tell you, all these books are so powerful. And having written a kindergarten book, I always look at kindergarten books like, with particular interest. And his King of Kindergarten, the thing that I loved how sweet and kind that all the kids are to each other. And there's one page in particular that I love, that he says, and you'll have packed, again, the second person, you'll have packed your favorite chocolate pudding with an extra cup just in case, because the little boy next to him does not have dessert. He's missing his dessert. So you'll say to him, want a pudding, Howie? The fact that the specificity of having the word, the name rather, and want a pudding, Howie? I just love that. He'll say thanks and you won't mind at all, because what could be cooler than sharing with new friends? And instead of lecturing like, in kindergarten, you need to share.
Right.
This
is the kind thing to do.
It's a really good example, a great, perfect example, really, of a mentor text of how to use a book to, quote unquote, teach a lesson without lecturing or teaching lesson. And he does a lot of that in this book.
Again, I think that goes back to him respecting the reader. The reader already knows what the kind thing to do is. And that's why you don't mind doing it, because it's kind. Like I think what we're hearing and all of the things we're saying is that he really taps into the humanity of what he's writing about, and us as humans see ourselves in that. And that's what's resonating with us, is there's so much humanity in what he's writing.
In I Got You, A Brother's Promise, which is one of his more personal picture books, where he's actually writing about his own relationship with his own older brother, Anthony, even though the little boy in the book is called Rashid, but he dedicates the book to his brother, his big brother, Anthony Barnes. So it's about their relationship. That, again, that ability to run parallel tracks at the same time. So he's telling a very specific story about how two brothers have each other's backs in very specific events, like when a bike gets stolen and all kinds of other, specific little episodes.
So sweet.
But I Got You, A Brother's Promise. Like, that might as well be Derrick Barnes's mission statement.
Exactly.
Right?
No, it is. Yeah. Absolutely it is.
And that one's illustrated by Shamar Knight-Justice. What I really liked about that book, too, is showing how the older brother, when it does come time for him to need some space away, the way that he explains that in a compassionate way to the younger brother so that the younger brother understands that just because it's like, hello, I could have used this book as a child when I was learning about boundaries.
In any relationship.
Right.
But
well, because it's not either or, right? And a lot of times I think we think, as well as kids, that something is, oh, he's either going to play with me or he's not. And the brother's like, no, just sometimes I need this. And then he says, okay, we'll play together twice a week with my friends. You know, like he comes up with the solution even.
Right.
I just want to point out that the thing to bear in mind is that we're talking about Derrick Barnes as if he just burst on the scene fully formed, right?
Right.
Like, he came out of the cradle with Crown, and he was just, instantly brilliant. But, he had written 8 books in other formats and other genres before Crown, and he had really done his homework. He had worked in the library system. He had been reading picture books and children's books to kids for years before he started writing them himself. He was steeped in storytelling and in voice.
And poetry.
His craft.
And in poetry, yeah. And so I think that's a really important point to make because, we could sit here and think, oh, I'll never be gifted like Derrick Barnes, but Derrick Barnes did his homework.
He developed his gift.
He developed his craft. He developed his gift. And he will tell us how at Picture Book Summit, which I'm just so looking forward to.
Yes.
Really.
That's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. And Picture Book Summit, of course, this year is October 3rd, 2026. And Derrick is going to be opening our day on Summit Day. So I can't think of a better way to start our day. And his presentation is From Crowns to Kings, How I Navigate My Own Authentic Lane in a Genre with So Many Beautiful Voices. Which, I mean, he has a gorgeous voice, and he's like, oh, there's so many. So just
kind of him.
yeah. So just his quick description here. When Derrick penned his first picture book, he was on the verge of stepping away from his dream of becoming a successful children's book author. Even though he had published 8 books in other formats, he struggled to find his voice in a crowded sea of talented writers. And at the summit, he will share how authenticity unlocks the treasure chest to writing for young readers and is the key to finding your unique gifts as a person and as a writer. So, like I said, it's going to be a great way to start the day, just digging into your own authenticity. So we're really looking forward to that. And if you're listening to this, I believe it'll be in August. And August 27th is when our early bird ticket pricing ends. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, you should go do that right away, and because you will get $100 off before August 27th. And you can do that at picturebooksummit.com. We have tickets with submission opportunities. You would want to get the Summit Plus submission ticket, or you can, if you don't need submission opportunities or you're looking for a little break in price there, check out the Summit only ticket. Both of those are $100 off their regular price. And our other speakers are going to be Deborah Underwood and Brian Lees, and Emma and Katie are doing a workshop together about page turns, which is going to be incredible. And Julie is doing a workshop as well called Hook, Line, or Stinker, which I think might be our favorite title of the year. She'll be helping you discover the hooks in your book, because we got to hook our readers from the very beginning, whether it's an agent or an editor. It won't even get to the young readers if we're not hooking people right away. So team, thank you for this conversation. Stay tuned, because our next couple episodes will be digging deep into Deborah Underwood's books and Brian Lees's books. So we have even more ahead for you. So thank you, team, and we'll see the rest of you at Picture Book Summit. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.